Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to sit down and just talk to you about my thyroid and competing with a long-term health condition. So obviously there is a lot of a stigma around competing, especially if you have a long-term health condition, and I have a long-term health condition. I have an underactive thyroid. If you don't know what that is, the thyroid gland is something that controls all your hormones, controls the way you think, controls your metabolism, controls a lot of things, especially in your day-to-day life that you wouldn't necessarily think. This is very common for women over the age of 40, but unfortunately I got diagnosed at 9, and this basically means that I have to go for blood tests, check that all of my medication is right, check that all of that is working, and I have to be really, really on top of everything else in my life. Now, I'm at a stage in my prep where I needed to talk about this and address this as a separate video because it is hindering me, and I'm just out here to say it's not going to hinder me. It's going to be, you know, it's not just because I have it doesn't mean I can't compete. It just means I have to be extra careful and extra on my medication, extra on my levels. So I have a few notes that I need to talk through. Give me 2 seconds. So let me explain what a thyroid actually is. So a thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland in the front of your neck. It produces hormones that controls the speed of your metabolism, the system that helps the body use energy. Thyroid disorders can slow up or rev down a metabolism and the production of the thyroid hormones. So if you're underactive, you're generally more likely to gain weight, but if you are overactive, you are generally perceptive to lose weight quicker. So it basically controls everything that goes on in your body. Hypo is underactive, hyper is overactive. It's very confusing, but you kind of get your head around it. So hypo can affect your metabolism, mental functions, energy levels, and bowel movements. So for years, TMI, I have digestion problems, and it's something that I'm quite open about, and that is purely linked to my thyroid. Now I'm on probiotics, digestive enzymes. I've gone through a lot of digestive supplements, which I could do a whole separate video about, but they have really helped. Depending on how low your thyroid hormone production drops, your symptoms may be mild to severe. So if you're not sure in the beginning and you're feeling very tired, you've got unexpected weight gain, or you have, you know, for example, you're not sure about all these moods, it's something that you definitely need to get checked. Some symptoms like fatigue, weakness, and constipation are hard to tell compared to other conditions. So people don't really think about your thyroid, and this can also affect men as well, but it's just more common in women. So you get told when you get first diagnosed that you can't have certain foods. So I remember at like 10, I couldn't have oranges and grapes. I remember it so well, and they were my favorite. I loved fruit growing up, and I couldn't have them anymore. So soya foods like tofu, edamame should really reduce your intake of certain vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, especially cabbage, broccoli, kale, cauliflower, spinach. Obviously I do eat spinach, kale, cabbage, broccoli in my diet day to day. Fruits and starchy plants, sweet potatoes I eat, cassava, peaches, strawberries, fruit, etc. And nuts and seeds, you should stay away from pine nuts and peanuts, and you should be increasing your intake of Brazil nuts because they have selenium in, and that's really good for your medication. So does thyroid affect muscle growth? So thyroid hormone signaling is required for the skeletal muscle development, so it can be harder to build muscle. This hasn't stopped me, but it does take you a little bit longer to build muscle than the average person. So it's something to take in mind, especially if you are starting in the gym or you're thinking to compete and you do have a thyroid condition. It's something that you just have to keep in mind, that you can't have that 8 to 16 week time frame. You have to do it a little bit longer than the usual person. So Hashimoto disease is something else I wanted to touch upon because it's the autoimmune disease with regards to thyroid. Now, this is something that I believe I might have, And a lot of people with underactive thyroid just get told they have an underactive thyroid because it's easier to test. So you take a blood test and you have a TSH level and a T4 level. Now, I think Hashimoto disease is very, very hard to, what's the word? I'm having a moment. Diagnose, that's it. It's really hard to diagnose because there isn't actually an accurate test that says, oh yeah, this is what you have. But I am giving you all the background knowledge of what a thyroid condition is, and then I'm going to talk about my story. So I was 9 and I was very young and I was excessively overweight as a kid, and I remember being really, really ill. We do the 11 plus here in the UK, so it's basically an entrance exam for your secondary schools, and mine was all triggered to stress, we believe. All three out of 4 of my grandparents have thyroid condition, and it's definitely genetic. Unfortunately, mine skipped a generation, so I obviously got diagnosed, and it took me a long time to come to terms with it. Taking medication for the rest of your life, and that's the way you're going to live, it does take a toll on you, especially mentally and physically. But now I've come to terms with it, so I've been diagnosed for over 10 years now, and well over 10 years. And it's something that until I started prep, I didn't really think about. So when I take my medication first thing in the morning. Anyone that's interested, I'm 125 at the moment. But I am at a stage where I am competing. My sleep is perfect, my diet's perfect, everything's perfect, but I'm not seeing the results I really should be seeing or believe I should be seeing. So it is my decision that I will be slowly, very, very slowly, under the doctor's orders, increasing my medication to try and see if that makes a difference. Obviously, I'll document it if you're interested, but this video is more about my thyroid condition, my long-term health condition, and how that hasn't stopped me competing. Yes, my prep has to be longer. Yes, I have to go to the hospital more to have my bloods checked. But if it's something you're really passionate about and you really, really want to do, then it won't stop you. And I feel like I'm alive. And let me just put up lighting. I feel like, let me just put it above me. I feel like it shouldn't be something that stops you. It should be something that you want to do. So if it's something that you really, really want to do, then do it. Doesn't matter. So I don't know what lighting I'm going to work with, but I feel as if I wanted to give this video a special mention because there's a lot of people struggling, and especially if you're fitness or starting fitness. I remember when I first started in the gym, and to be honest, I used to take my medication sometimes at 12, sometimes at 10. It really, really does help to take your thyroid medication at the same time every day, and that could be a whole separate video on my journey with my thyroid. But when it comes to prep, there are certain elements that are not working in my favour. For example, having a thyroid condition. But I just want it to make it clear that it's okay, like, you're fine, you will find what works for you. Obviously, the thyroid is, people underrate it as a hormone. It is part of the endocrine system. If you don't know what the endocrine system is, I can do a whole, it's basically connected to your digestive system, also your pituitary gland in your brain. But I just wanted people to be aware of, yes, I am competing. Yes, it is my choice. Yes, it is a big step in my life. I'm very excited for it, but I do have to be extra careful compared to the average person that's competing, and it can be seen as a hindrance, but I'm going to see it as a massive asset because I can relate to people that this prep life is not easy for a competition. You know, I am very, very lean all over, and that's probably why you haven't seen any, you know, check-in pictures. But my stomach is just holding on to that fat. And although it looks like nice, when you are competing, you want to shed down. You want to see your work that you've been working so long for. And for me, it's been a few years. So I feel as if it's really important to remember that you can do whatever you want to do in life, regardless of your situation, regardless of your health condition. I am pushing towards something I really truly believe could be a few years for me, and I really, you know, love it. And I want people to realise it doesn't matter what situation in life you're at, you can do what you want to do, and you're in charge of what you want to do. So I really had this idea that I would talk through my medication and my thyroid journey and being a bodybuilder, because that's exactly what I'm intending to do, and it's never stopped me before. Yes, it's a pain in the backside. I have to go to the hospital every month or 2 months, but it's part of me, and I've learned to accept it, and I can understand people with long-term health conditions a lot more. And I feel like if you have one, it's okay. I'm a celiac, allergic to dairy, with an underactive thyroid, with 60 million other issues as well, but that's never stopped me doing anything in life. Yeah, my concentration sometimes whack, and my medication needs to be changed, and it takes a while for your medication to be changed. Sometimes I sleep for 18 hours, sometimes I sleep for 4, but it doesn't stop you, and you are in charge of anything you want to do. This is a very, very fitnessy but lifestyle video for me, and I talk about this a lot on my Instagram, so if you're not following me, follow me over there. If it is something that you're interested in, or you're dealing with a long-term health condition and you're trying to get into fitness, or you're trying to do something and you feel like it's hindering you, might not be prep, might be anything in life, drop me a DM or a comment. I would love to hear from you. And remember, we're all in this together, we're all on one side, and if I can share my story and help anyone, the struggles of having a thyroid condition is unbelievable. People underplay it, but when you're so young and you get diagnosed and you get told you can't eat all these foods and you can't do this and you can't be a normal kid, it does take a toll on you. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you give me a like and a subscribe. It really helps my channel. I am trying to grow this little baby by opening myself up to you yourselves. If you have any questions about having a long-term health condition, or how I've battled it, or how I've overcome it, please message me. I would love to understand where everyone's at. And yeah, I'm hoping that prep goes well, and this increase will be obviously under the jurisdiction of doctors and everything like that. It is something I have to take to live, and it's something that, you know, if I didn't take, I could potentially die or be very, very unwell. So it's something that is underrated by myself and a lot of people. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.